lives. And as I said at the beginning of my remarks, this bill, a health-based approach to substance use, aims to save lives. Let's take the politics out of the overdose and toxic drug supply crisis. Sorry, it is emotional for me, Madam Speaker, because this is such an important bill. We know the time has come from the families and loved ones of so many victims of drug poisoning.
I can't bring my son back. The hardest thing that I had to do was bury my son. The hardest day of my life was that phone call. Watching his siblings navigate life without him is some days unbearable. But what we can do, and what I'm calling this government and all of the parties to do, is to work together. This isn't about politics anymore. This is about saving lives.
Since then, Canada has lost more than 26,000 people to overdoses.
In British Columbia, 2,224 people died from overdoses in 2021 alone.
In Waterloo region alone, it was 155 preventable deaths last year alone.
This crisis has already taken too many lives. We understand that it's urgent to act, and that is why it is a priority for us too.
We do need an approach which will consider a broader approach to the issue, including decriminalization. It's important to say, though, what this is not. Those who commit serious offenses, including trafficking, will continue to receive serious sentences.
This bill, if passed, would save lives. This bill follows the recommendations we already have from the expert task force on substance use.
People are dying. We must act.
One of the main things is if someone is struggling with addiction, someone is in possession of a personal use amount of a controlled substance, that person needs healthcare. That person needs rehabilitation. That person needs support. They don't need to be thrust into the justice system, arrested, and put in jail.
I ask for your consideration of the three essential measures proposed in this bill. First, the stigma of substance use can be addressed by repealing the provision of the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act that makes it an offense to personally possess certain substances. Second, barriers to employment, housing, and other essential of life be removed for Canadians with certain drug-related convictions through the destruction or removal of the judicial records of those convictions that are in federal systems. And third, Madam Speaker, and finally, a health-based approach to substance use can be created through a national strategy, which would require the Minister of Health to address the harm caused by problematic substance use. A national strategy should include, but not be limited by, access to a safe, regulated supply of substances, universal access to recovery, trauma-based treatment and harm reduction services, prevention, outreach, and public awareness programs. The fact is that because a son or a daughter, a friend or a neighbor is addicted to drugs or just a weekend user, it shouldn't be a death sentence. Because too often it is. Sentenced to death by drugs poisoned with fentanyl and other dangerous substances